Hello viewers, welcome to Newsweek South Asia, a show where we'll provide you fresh insights into South Asia's geopolitical, strategic and security situation. Let's take a look at the headlines first. Pakistani woman faces blasphemy accusation over Arabic print attire. India slams Pakistan for raking up Kashmir issue at United Nations Human Rights Council. And India reaffirms resolve against Pakistan's cross-border terrorism. Let's talk about Pakistan's controversial blasphemy laws and its profound impact on the lives of ordinary citizens within the country. The blasphemy law, enacted with the intention of safeguarding religious sentiments, has unfortunately been misused and abused over the years in Pakistan. Recently, a Pakistani woman was mobbed on the streets of Lahore as she was wearing a kurta which had Arabic print on it. The crowd mistook the Arabic words on kurta as verses from Quran. This incident happened when the woman was visiting a restaurant with her husband. The angry mob surrounded her, raised slogans and asked her to remove the dress. Our report will give you the details. A video of a woman has gone viral on social media. In the viral footage, the woman looked visibly scared, sitting in the far corner of a restaurant, shielding her face with her hand. In another video, she is surrounded by officers who had formed the only barrier between her and a growing crowd who were shouting for her to remove the shirt. In some videos, people can be heard chanting that those who blaspheme must be beheaded. This incident occurred in a bustling bazaar in the Pakistani city of Lahore. An angry mob in the crowded marketplace accused the woman of blasphemy after mistaking the words printed on her dress for verses from the Quran. The dress has the word halwa printed in Arabic letters on it, meaning beautiful in Arabic. She was saved by police who escorted her to safety. The woman later gave a public apology.
मेरी ऐसी कोई नियत नहीं थी और ये जो भी हुआ लाइलमी में हुआ, लेकिन मैं फिर भी माफी मांगती हूँ। मैं एक्स्ट्रा बाजार गई और मैंने ये जो कुर्ता पहना था, ये मैंने डिजाइन समझ के लिया है। मुझे नहीं पता था उस पे कुछ इस तरह का लिखा है जिससे लोग ये समझेंगे कि ये शायद कोई अरबी लिखी है, और मेरी ऐसी कोई नियत नहीं थी और ये जो भी हुआ लाइलमी में हुआ, लेकिन मैं फिर भी माफी मांगती हूँ। कुरान, सुन्नत और नाउज़बिल्लाह, हम सोच भी नहीं सकते मुसलमान होकर कि हम गुस्ताखी करेंगे या गुस्ताखी रसूल करेंगे।
Blasphemy is punishable by death in Pakistan. Blasphemy convictions are common in the country. At least 50 people are in custody over blasphemy charges, and many have been lynched even before their cases go on trial. They are usually killed by mobs even if their allegations are not proven. Since 1990, at least 80 people have been killed in Pakistan just over blasphemy allegations.
The legal definition of blasphemy is so stringent. Forget the consequences. Any innocuous act can be seen as an act of blasphemy. And by increasing the terms, what they do is basically lift the ante. And unfortunately, the lawmakers have no way out. If you remember some years ago, Mr. Tasir had talked about the misuse of the blasphemy laws. And he was killed by his own bodyguard, murdered by his own bodyguard. Fortunately, the bodyguard was taken to court. He had his day in court. He saw trial and he was sentenced to death. Millions of people turned up at the funeral of that bodyguard. A few thousands turned up at the funeral of Governor Tasir. So it is no longer a legal question now. It is the manner in which the body politic and the population of Pakistan has been poisoned by these, the trajectory of conversation that takes place on blasphemy. I think that is the most important thing.
In January 2023, Pakistan further strengthened its already harsh blasphemy laws to punish anyone convicted of insulting people connected to Prophet Muhammad. This amendment significantly increased the minimum penalty for such offences from 3 to 10 years in prison, coupled with a fine of 1 million Pakistani rupees. Due to Pakistan's history of abusing these laws, the Human Rights Commission of Pakistan expressed deep concerns about these legislative charges, fearing that they might disproportionately affect minority groups and exacerbate abuse. This could result in unjustified accusations, mistreatment, and oppression with minority communities such as Ahmadis, Christians, and Shia Muslims bearing the brunt of these injustices. An alarming illustration of this oppression is the attacks on churches and homes in Jarawala, a city in Pakistan, with the government appearing to neglect such vigilant assaults. With the rise in sectarian violence in Pakistan, many countries, including the United States, UK, and Canada, have advised their citizens to avoid traveling to Pakistan. The country is already facing such restrictions due to terrorism and other conflicts, causing insecurity to the foreign visitors. The security forces in Jammu and Kashmir have arrested a terror associate and recovered a hand grenade from him. The operation, conducted jointly by Sopore Police, the Indian Army and Central Reserve Police Force, underscore the collaborative approach adopted to combat terrorism in the area. Pakistan and its agencies are making continuous attempts to revive terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. Refusing to end its Kashmir obsession, it continues to focus on non-conventional war with India. While conspiring against India, Pakistan has completely forgotten the region illegally occupied by it. A report.
In a significant development in an ongoing efforts to curb terrorist activities in the region, security forces in Jammu and Kashmir Sopore successfully apprehended a terrorist associate named Arif Hussain Bhatt. The operation, conducted jointly by Sopore Police, the Indian Army and Central Reserve Police Force, underscore the collaborative approach adopted to combat terrorism in the area. The joint operation was initiated based on intelligence gathered from human sources, highlighting Bhatt's involvement in terrorist activities. Police recovered a hand grenade from Bhatt, who was in constant contact with terrorist handlers across the border. Police have registered an FIR and an investigation is underway. Every terrorist caught in Kashmir definitely has links with Pakistan and its handlers. Pakistan and its agencies are making continuous attempts to revive terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir.
Our strategy needs to undergo a change. We are only reacting. Pakistan continues to infiltrate and we only react and try and eliminate them. We need to change the strategy and become proactive.
Recently, a report also emerged in the public domain that the number of telecom towers along the line of control in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir has increased in recent times with an aim to aid terrorists and their associates in infiltration activities. The reports reveal that terror groups have been using highly encrypted YSMS services, a technology that merges smartphones and radio sets for covert communication purposes. This technology helps a handler of a terror outfit in POK connect with the infiltrating group and its reception party in the Jammu region on a telecom network used across the LOC.
What that involves is known to the powers that be. And unless until we do that and increase the cost to Pakistan by an order of magnitude, this will continue.
Pakistan has refused to end its Kashmir obsession and continues to focus on non-conventional war with India. While conspiring against India, Pakistan has completely forgotten the region illegally occupied by it. The pathetic plight of the POK residents and the zero development in the region are ample proof of the fact that Pakistan rulers have always treated POK as their colony and a breeding ground for terrorists.
Let's shift our focus to the 55th session of UN Human Rights Council in Geneva, in which India reacted sharply to Pakistan after it raked up the Kashmir narrative once again and meddled false and baseless accusations against India. New Delhi reiterated that the entire Jammu and Kashmir is a part of India. Indian diplomat Anupama Singh hit out at Pakistan during the Right to Reply segment. A report. Pakistan's obsession with Kashmir is as old as its creation. For Kashmir, Pakistan staked its sovereignty, its identity, its economy, and even the lives of its citizens. The country's long-standing fixation on Kashmir doesn't appear to be waning anytime soon, as Islamabad continues to bring up the Kashmir issue in the United Nations. While exercising its right of reply in the United Nations Human Rights Council, India gave a staunch response to Pakistan for the mention of Jammu and Kashmir on the platform. Anupama Singh, the first secretary in the permanent mission of India to the UN in Geneva at the 55th regular session of the UN Human Rights Council, condemned Pakistan's misuse of the Council's platform to spread false accusations against India. She reiterated that the entire Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh are an integral and inalienable part of India.
With regard to the extensive references to India made by Pakistan, we note that it is deeply unfortunate for the Council's platform to have once again been misused to make patently false allegations against India. We are constrained to respond. The entire Union territories of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh are an integral and inalienable part of India, and the constitutional measures taken by the Government of India to ensure socio-economic development and good governance in the Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir are matters internal to India. Pakistan has no locus standi to pronounce on matters that are internal to India.
Addressing Pakistan's human rights record, she highlighted the persecution of minorities in Pakistan. The Indian diplomat cited the large-scale brutality perpetrated against a minority Christian community in Jarawala, Pakistan in August 2023, when 19 churches were gutted and 89 Christian houses burned down.
A country that has institutionalized the systemic persecution of its own minorities and has a truly abysmal human rights record, commenting on India, which is demonstrably making great strides in achieving economic progress and social justice, is not merely ironical but perverse. A glaring example was large-scale brutality perpetrated against minority Christian community in Jarawala in Pakistan in August 2023, when 19 churches were gutted and 89 Christian houses burnt down.
As a victim of cross-border terrorism for several decades, India has been at the forefront of the fight against terrorism. Slamming Islamabad for being a terror state, India also reiterated that Pakistan has an established history of actively supporting terror groups and holds the shameful record of hosting the largest number of terrorists proscribed by the UN Security Council.
A country that hosts and even celebrates UNSC-sanctioned terrorists, commenting on India, whose pluralistic ethos and democratic credentials are exemplars for the world, is a contrast for everyone to see. Mr. President, I'll conclude by only emphasizing that we cannot pay any further attention to a country that speaks while being soaked in red. The red of the bloodshed from the terrorism it sponsors around the world, the red of its debt-riddled national balance sheets, and the red of the shame its own people feel for their government having failed to serve their actual interests.
Pakistan, since decades, has been using all global platforms to spew venom against India. Its representatives pass fabricated and slanderous statements to further their anti-India propaganda, but eventually, to its much embarrassment, India puts the truth forward, hence exposing all of its lies and immoral terror connections. Terrorism today has spread across international borders, serving its sole purpose of disturbing peace and tranquility in the world. It has always destroyed the efforts of like-minded entities that relentlessly work to maintain peace across the globe. One of these entities is India, a country that has been a victim of terrorism emanating from Pakistan. However, New Delhi has always preached what it follows, taking a strong stand against terrorism and extremism on each front. We have a report.
Pakistan has a long record of carrying out cross-border terrorism against its neighboring countries. Since its formation in 1947, Pakistan has consistently engaged in acts of cross-border terrorism, particularly targeting India. New Delhi has borne the brunt of numerous egregious attacks, all orchestrated and backed by Pakistan. These include the infamous assault on the Indian Parliament in 2001, the 2005 Delhi bombings, the 2008 Mumbai terror attack, as well as assaults on the Pathankot air base and the army camp in Uri, all attributed to Pakistan-sponsored terrorism. India has vocally condemned Pakistan's terrorist activities and has consistently exposed them on various international platforms.
The long-standing challenge of cross-border terrorism.
Recently, during a speech in New Delhi, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar reaffirmed India's firm stance against cross-border terrorism originating from Pakistan. He emphasized that India now responds more effectively to threats on its western front.
The calculus of national security has understandably become much more complicated. Traditional methods of competing and pressurizing are buttressed by new tools of influence and disruption. Here too, Bharat has pushed back with determination and fortitude. On the western front, the long-standing challenge of cross-border terrorism now elicits more befitting responses. Believe me, Uri and Balakot send their own message.
Jaishankar's remarks were particularly significant as they coincided with the 5th anniversary of a surgical airstrike conducted by the Indian Air Force. On February 26, 2019, the Indian Air Force targeted the terror camps of Jaish-e-Mohammed, a Pakistan-based terror outfit in Balakot, deep within Pakistan territory. This operation was in retaliation to the heinous Pulwama terror attack on February 14, 2019, where a suicide bomber affiliated with Jaish-e-Mohammed targeted a convoy of Indian paramilitary personnel, resulting in the loss of over 40 lives. The reality of cross-border terrorism remains stark. Islamabad continues to provide sanctuary to various terror outfits and utilizes them as proxies against India. The Pakistan Army facilitates the safe passage of these terrorists into India's Jammu and Kashmir region to carry out terror activities. Despite India's security forces consistently apprehending and neutralizing terrorists infiltrating from Pakistan, a significant number of terrorists backed by Pakistan remain hidden in Jammu and Kashmir, actively seeking opportunities to wreak havoc.
The biggest problem that is there to counter terrorism is the terrain. Now, if you see the Jammu and Kashmir terrain, right from the international border, that is Pathankot, Kathua district, right up to Baramulla and Uri, you will see that the terrain is very conducive for any infiltration. Now, the biggest problem in this fence is that since it runs over a lot of nalas, that is the rainwater fed nalas and others, the fence gets damaged during the monsoon season, when it snows, and that is where these people then they start infiltrating, and ISI keeps a very strict watch on it. In fact, in the international border area, that is or Samba and Kathua, and we have found tunnels dug up by these people. Now, these tunnels could not be dug up by the terrorists themselves. These are proper engineering concepts. They are done by the Pakistani Rangers engineers, and they are coming, some are even going up to 2 kilometers in length, starting from one post and crossing over the international border and coming into the Indian side.
Leaders of terrorist groups operating from Pakistan such as Hafiz Saeed and Masood Azhar remain wanted by India, yet Pakistan has failed to take decisive action against them, indicating continued support for cross-border terrorism. However, India has implemented various measures to counter this threat, including military responses against terrorists and bolstering defenses along the India-Pakistan border. Despite the challenges, India's security forces have achieved successes in dismantling terrorist camps in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Cross-border terrorism exacts a heavy toll on the lives of ordinary people. A resolution hinges on Pakistan's cessation of support for terrorist groups and the prevention of its territory being used for acts of terrorism against India.
And with that, we come to the end of this edition of Newsweek South Asia. We'll be back next week with more news, views and analysis from the subcontinent. Meanwhile, do keep writing to us at NWSA@ANIN.com. This is Shivangi Mishra signing off on behalf of the entire production team of Newsweek South Asia. Goodbye and take care.